Looking to create structured and versatile layout sections on your WordPress site? In this video, we are diving into the container block from Blocks, perfect for organizing content with Flexbox or grid layouts. Whether you are looking to create a full width or box layout, want to create multi-column sections, want to add parallax background, unique background effects, I'll guide you through setting it up and customizing. So let's dive in. Before we start, make sure the default WordPress Gutenberg block editor is active on your site, and make sure to install the Blocks free plugin. Step 1. Install and activate the Blocks free plugin. To do that, go to Plugins, click on Add Plugin. Then in the search bar, search for Blocks. This is the plugin. Click on Install Now. Once done, click on Activate. Step 2. Activate the container block. To do that, go to Blocks, then Blocks, and search for Container. This is the block. Just enable it. Let's see the settings of container block from Blocks. Once you add the container block, you'll have to choose a layout type. You can create a Flexbox layout or a grid layout. We'll see each option one by one. Let's see the Flexbox option first. Once you select the Flexbox layout, you have to select the column layout. You can create a single column layout or you can create a multi-column layout. We'll see the single column first, then we'll check the multi-column. For the single column, we'll use this example. From the content width section, you can set the width to boxed or full. Let's keep it to box. Then from the width section, you can set the width. From the container width, you can set the container width to default or you can make it full. Then from the height, you can set a default height. You can set fit to screen height or you can set a minimum height where you can manually set a minimum height for the section. Let's keep it to default. Then from the gutter space, you can add some spacing. From overflow, you can set the overflow to visible or hidden. Then from HTML tag, you can set a HTML tag for the section. In the Flex property tab, you will find some Flexbox related properties. From the direction, you can set the direction to horizontal or vertical. Then from the reverse toggle, you can reverse the item order. Then from responsive reverse toggle, you can set the reverse for responsive devices separately. Then from row alignment, you can align items. From column alignment, you can justify the content. From element gap, you can set gap between the elements. From wrap section, you can set the property to no wrap or wrap. If you select wrap, you can align the content from here. From the reverse wrap toggle, you can reverse the wrapping. From flex child toggle, you can adjust the flex property for individual items using these repeaters. Let's see the options. You can individually set shrink, grow, basis for each item. You can set alignment. You can even set order like this. You can change the basis. You can even change order for an item. You can click on add item button to add more repeater items to target individual items. In the extra options tab, you will find some additional options. From the wrapper link toggle, you can add a link to this container from here. Then from the overlays toggle, you can add an overlay. From the sticky toggle, you can make the container sticky. Here you can set a normal plus sticky mode or you can set a only sticky mode. In normal plus sticky mode, the container will stick once it reaches to the top of the browser. In only stick option, the container will not be visible initially, but once it reaches the top of the browser, it will be visible. Once you scroll down, it will hide again. Then from the animation section, you can set the animation to none, slide or fade. From the on mouse scroll up sticky toggle, you can make the container sticky only when you scroll up. So the container will not stick when you scroll down. From the transition duration, you can set a transition duration. Then from the stay in container toggle, you can keep the container sticky inside its parent container. In the style tab, you will find different styling options for main container and inner container. We'll see the inner container option when we look into multi-column layout. From the background tab, you can set the background for normal and hover states. You can set background color, gradient color, or even a background image separately for normal and hover states. If you have enabled sticky option, you will find additional sticky tab. From here, you can adjust the background, you can adjust margin, padding, you can even add background filters. Then from the border or box shadow tab, you can adjust border radius, box shadow for normal, hover and sticky states. Then from the shape divider tab, you can add a custom shape at the top and bottom of the container. From the top tab, you can add shape at the top. Then from the bottom tab, you can add shape at the bottom of the container. Then we'll see these three tabs: background deep layer, background middle layer, background top layer. From background deep layer tab, you can set background styles for the deep layer. Then from the middle layer, you can set background style for the middle layer. And then from the top layer tab, you can set a background style for the top layer. This will create a 3-layer structure for your container to give unique background styles to your container. Let's see the background deep layer options first. From select background option, you can add different types of background. You can add animated colors. Here, the container background will change from one color to another. You can add individual color to each repeater item, and it will change from one color to another automatically. You can click on the add color button to add more colors. From the animation duration section, you can set the animation duration. You can also set the animation delay from here. Then from the creative image option, you can add a background image. You will find image related options. Then from the background effect drop down, you can set a normal background, or you can make a auto moving background image. Here the image will automatically scroll. You can set the move direction as well. Then from the transition speed, you can set the transition speed. If you enable the cane burn effect, it will add a cane burn effect to the image. From the effect direction, you can keep it to normal, or you can set alternate direction. From the effect duration speed, you can adjust the effect speed. Then from the creative background option, you can add a video in your container background. From the video source, you can add video from YouTube, Vimeo, or self-hosted. For YouTube, you have to add the YouTube video ID. For Vimeo, you have to add the Vimeo video ID. And for self-hosted, you have to add the video URL. If you're using MP4, you can add the link over here. If you're using WebM or OGG format, you have to add the URL over here. From the iframe title, you can add an iframe title. From the loop toggle, you can loop the video. From the mute toggle, you can mute the video. From fallback image, you can add a fallback image for the video. Then from the parallax background video toggle, you can make a parallax video background as well. Then from the creative gallery option, you can add a background slideshow. For that, you have to add multiple images over here. Let's add few images. You will see the effect on the front end only. Then from the transition effect, you can add different transition effects. You can set the transition duration. You can set slide delay. You can set the animation. You can even add texture overlay as well. This entire effect will show on the front end only. Then from the gradient animate color option, you can add animated gradient background. Again, you have to add colors using these repeater items. You can add individual color to each repeater item. Based on this, it will automatically create gradient colors and switch from one color to another. You can click on the add gradient to add more colors to create more gradient color variations. Then from the animation duration section, you can set the animation duration. Then from the animate rotate color section, you can adjust the angle of the gradient. From the full page background toggle, you can set the section as full page container. From the position, you can set the position as well. Then from the on scroll animation, you can change the background color or image on scroll. You have to use these repeater items to use add background color or image. Let's see the options. You can add background color, gradient color, or you can add an image as well. You can add individual color or image for each items. You can click on add item button to add more background, image or color. Then from the on scroll change, you can set a gradient light effect. This will gradually change one color to another as you scroll, creating a gradient effect. Or you can select direct color change effect. It will directly change from one color to another as you scroll. For gradient effect, you can set the transition duration as well. Now let's see the background middle layer option. From the select background option, you can add canvas effect. With this option, you can add particle effects to the container background. From the canvas style, you can add different predefined styles. Again, this effect will show in the front end only. For each canvas style, you will find different options. For style 1, you will see these repeater items to add different colors to the particle. For style 2, you will see just one color. Similarly, you can add custom skim. With this, you can add a custom particle effect to your background. In that case, you have to add the particle JSON code over here. Then from the modern image effect option, you can add image scroll animation to the background. You have to use these repeated items to add different images. Let's see the options. You have to add an image over here. Then from the left, right, top, bottom sections, you can position the image for desktop, tablet and mobile separately. You can adjust the width. You can add opacity. From the select image section, you have to add an image. Let's add an image. Then from here, you can adjust the position of the image for desktop, tablet and mobile separately. From the width, you can adjust the width of the image. From the opacity, you can adjust the opacity. Then from the effect intensity section, you can add a move effect to the image once you hover on it. The higher the intensity, the lower the effect. You can set negative value to move the image in the cursor direction. You can set positive values to move the image in the opposite direction of the cursor. This effect will work in the front end. Then from the effects, you can add different effects to the image. From magic scroll toggle, you can add different scrolling effects. Again, these options will show in the front end only. From the scroll option section, you have to set the trigger, duration and offset. This will decide how your scroll animation will work. For vertical, you can set the start and end point for the vertical scrolling. From the reverse toggle, you can reverse the scrolling effect. Similarly, in the horizontal option, you can set a start and end point for the horizontal scrolling. You can reverse the scrolling effect as well. From opacity, you can set start and end point for the opacity. You can reverse the effect as well. Then from the rotate, you have to set the position, the rotation. You can set start and end point for X, Y and Z axis separately. You can reverse the scrolling effect as well. Then from the scale section, you can scale the item X, Y and Z axis separately. You can set the start and end point for each axis. You can again reverse the scrolling effect. From skew, you can add skew in X and Y axis separately. You can set start and end point. You can again set reverse the scrolling effect. Then from the border radius, you can add start and end border radius values. From the advanced options, you can add repeat, you can add easing, you can adjust the timing, delay, you can reverse the scrolling effect as well. Then from the sticky toggle, you can make the image sticky inside the container. Then from the developers tab, you can set a custom trigger name for each individual item. That will make it easy to create complex scrolling animation effects. Then from the responsive visibility toggle, you can set where you want to show the scrolling effect. You can enable, disable the scrolling effect individually for responsive devices. Then from the Z-index section, you can set the Z-index value of the item. You can click on the add item button to add more images to the container. With this option, as you scroll, you can set images moving in different direction to create a unique background effect. Then from the auto moving layer option, we can add an auto moving background. Using these repeated items, you can add an image, you can adjust the image related options. Then from the direction, you can set the direction of the movement. You can adjust opacity, you can adjust transition speed. From responsive visibility, you can set where you want to show this effect. You can again adjust the Z-index value. You can click on add item button to add multiple backgrounds to create a unique style. Let's see the background top layer. This will add a background in the top layer. From the select options, you can add overlay background color. You can even add a gradient color as well. From the texture image option, you can add a overlay texture. You can use an image as an overlay as well. Again, you can use all these three background styling options together to create a very unique background for your container. Now let's see the Flexbox multi-column option. For this, we'll use this example. Here we have two columns, 1 and 2. Let's say the option you will find in inner columns. You can adjust the column width, you can adjust minimum height. Then from the flex property, again you can set again the direction, you can reverse the order and responsive reverse. You can again adjust the row alignment, column alignment, and adjust the column gap, and adjust the wrapping. Again you will find the flex child options as we saw in the main container. In the extra option, you will find wrapper link and sticky column option. From wrapper link, you can add a link to this particular inner container. From sticky column, you can make this particular column sticky. From the top spacing, you can adjust the spacing at the top. You can again make it sticky on desktop, tablet and mobile separately. In the style tab, you will find this background option only. From here, you can adjust the background for normal and overstates. You can adjust background filter. You can adjust border radius for normal and overstates. You can also adjust the box shadow. Now let's see the grid layout. For that, we'll use this example. But before that, let's see the option we'll get once we add a grid layout. Once you select the grid, we have to select the structure. Based on your selected structure, we'll see different styling option in this grid property tab. For example, we have selected 2 columns for this layout. So we'll see different option in this grid property tab. From the content width section, you can set the width to box to full width. You can adjust the container width, height, gutter space, overflow. You can also adjust the HTML tag like we did in the Flexbox layout. In the grid property tab, we'll find the grid layout related options. Based on the selected structure, we'll find different structure over here. From here, you can adjust the column and row layout of the grid. Let's see the option we'll see in these repeated items. In the grid property, you can set the width for responsive devices. You can set it to auto, min or max width, or you can even set custom width. You can click on the add column button to add more columns. Then from the rows section, you can adjust the grid rows. Let's see the options. From the grid property, you can set the row height. You can set it to auto. You can set min or max height, or you can even set custom height as well. You can click on the add rows button to add. From the auto flow drop down, you can set the grid auto flow direction. You can set it to rows or column. It will fill the rows first, then will create rows as needed. With columns, it will fill the columns first, then it will create columns as needed. Select the auto flow as per your requirement. Then you can adjust the row alignment. You can justify the items. You can adjust the column alignment. You can align content. Then from the column gap, you can adjust the column gap. From the row gap, you can adjust the row gap. In the extra options tab, you will find the same options as we saw in the Flexbox layout. In the style tab, you will find same styling option as we saw in the Flexbox layout. Now let's see the grid child container options. This is the child container. Here you can set the layout type to flex or grid. You can adjust the width, you can adjust height, you can set overflow, you can adjust the HTML tag for the container. In the grid property, you will find same options available in the parent container. In the grid item settings, you can adjust the column width, row height in the simple option. From the advanced tab, you can change the grid items location within the grid using these properties. Then you can align items, justify contents. In the extra option, again, we'll see the same options. In the style tab, you will find same option available in the parent container. In the advanced tab, you will find some additional styling options which I have covered in a separate video. So that's it for the container block. Thank you for watching. If you found this video helpful, give it a like and do subscribe to the channel for more content like this.